Lavia hijack, don't worry about it. And I mean this sincerely. So, with regards to Romeo Lavia, you're going to see lots of stuff over the next day or two to try and make out like Chelsea are trying to put pressure on us. It's too late. He's already made up his mind. He wants to play for Liverpool. That's why Arsenal have backed off as well, albeit they didn't move on Thomas Partey. So, with regards to Romeo Lavia, I think what Sacha Tavolieri has put out is spot on. I mentioned it to you guys yesterday that there was a bid coming in, a second bid going to be submitted by Liverpool for £40 million with £5 million add-ons. Now, there is a little bit of debate at the minute, guys, because some people think that the bid will be £42.5 million with £2.5 million in add-ons. But look, does it really matter? You know, we're nitpicking here. 45 million, if that's the number, if that gets it done, brilliant. You said money talks. I'm telling you, agree, disagree, David. They want Caicedo. That's who they really want. They've been refused Caicedo with a couple of bids, and now they're looking backwards. But we're moving quickly. And Liverpool are in direct dialogue with Southampton over Lavia. And I think we'll probably, I don't want to preempt it, but if it's not agreed by Monday and far along, I'd be very surprised. Very, very surprised. I'm going to say that I think Lavia will be a Liverpool player by middle of next week at the latest. And then the question is going to be, is that the end of it? Or is there going to be more? Thuram and Sangar would do for me in the midfield department. We're not going to get Sangar. I know he's a name that's hip this summer and that loads of Liverpool fans have been asking me about night after night after night. But Sangar hasn't been on the radar that I'm aware of. And Lavia is about to join. Now, people are still getting worried about the Chelsea interest. Don't be. And I know you'll say money talks and all that. But the dude also has to be able to play. And he's a far better chance, I think, to come into Liverpool now, to build his career with Jurgen Klopp, to nail down that starting berth as the central defensive midfielder. And I think Liverpool have put in a lot of groundwork on this. So for me, I'm not worried about Todd Boehly and Chelsea's interest in him. Arsenal's interest has gone away. We are very close to a number that works for Southampton. And from what I can gather, it's just terms at this point with Southampton about how exactly that fee is structured. That will be the difference maker. So I'm excited. And I think we'll get that here we go from Fabrizio soon enough. Thomas Partey, we're all right, mate. Thanks. We're all right on him. He's staying at Arsenal. They tried to get rid of him to Saudi. Didn't happen. So Partey's going to stay there, which has ended their interest in Lavia, which means it's basically just us. I know Chelsea are really being mentioned in the media, but they want... I think that Chelsea are just being mentioned for Lavia to try and make out to Brighton like they have options. Does that make sense? Like, the world knows that Chelsea want to go in there and sign Caicedo from Brighton. And we know that Brighton have a very, very hefty number for Caicedo. So I think this is Chelsea just kind of saying, look, if he doesn't work out, we do have a plan B. Preferred lineup against Chelsea. Right, I'm going to have a bash at this one. And it's difficult because we don't know if Lavia is in or not. But I'm going to say that if Lavia signs, and I think he will, I'm going to give you my team including Lavia. Even though I don't think he will play, I'm going to give you what I'd go with. So, obviously, I'd have Trent at right back, tucking in for the second six. Robbo at left back. Virgin Canade in the centre back positions. Ali in goal. That's going to go with Lavia in the six. Ahead of him, you're going to have two 10s. I'd go with McAllister and Jones. And then in attack, this is where it gets difficult. Obviously, Mohamed Salah, right-hand side. I'd go in that game away against Chelsea. I'd go Gakpo through the centre and I'd go Diaz on the left. And I'd bring Darwin off the bench. That's how I'd set up for the game. Because it's a difficult one away at Stamford Bridge. And I think Klopp's going to look to rely on people who he's very confident within his system. People who he knows will get the pressing part right, and people who I don't think he trusts Darwin yet, in all honesty. So I think we may see him come off the bench or be an option for the first home game against Bournemouth. Jota off the left, in my opinion, to Liam Belson. Again, it's a very fair comment, Liam. Jota has looked very good. You know, and I say this over and over again. We're very lucky because you can make a valid argument for Diogo Jota. You can make a valid argument for Darwin Núñez. We have a great collection of forwards. It's brilliant. I love it. It makes me smile every time I think about it. Go all out for Caicedo. No. And I'm going to tell you why I'd say no, Arlie. Playing-wise, no argument. He's brilliant. He's versatile. We know he can play at right back. But here's the thing that would worry me about Caicedo. That he'd be twerking as soon as another club comes along. I have a feeling if the likes of a Real Madrid or anything came along, he'd be a potential problem down the line. We've seen him do it already at Brighton. He did it for Arsenal, didn't work. He's doing it now, twerking, trying to get his move to Chelsea. So I'd always be concerned that if his head's turned, and it seems to be turned easily, that he might want to move again. And also, they're looking for about 100 million quid, which is crazy. Any news on Decore and would I take him? No updates, but yes, I would take him. He's that little bit more experienced than Lavia, but Lavia will be the one. That we'll await to hear if that offer has been accepted or not. The second offer that I mentioned last night and Sasha Tavalieri mentioned today. There's a bit of debate about whether Liverpool are going to offer 40 million with 5 million in add-ons for Romeo Lavia to Southampton, or whether it'll be 42.5 million with 2 million in 2.5 million add-ons. I think it's just the structure at this point. I think at the 45, I think it's close to a deal. So I'm really excited about it because we've had an amazing start to the transfer window. Then it's gone really quiet, obviously, and this would be another astute piece of business for me. By me, yeah, I'm fucking brilliant. Just send me out there, sack George Schmadtke. I'll be out there and I'll do the transfer dealings. When do you think we get the Lavia deal done? Okay, I'm taking a stab in the dark here. Monday, Tuesday would be my guess. I really do think that we aren't far off getting the here we go. I think keep your eye out because these conversations are ongoing and they're serious and they're genuine and there's goodwill on both sides. So I don't think we're that far off. I really don't. Craig, can I get to watching the Lavia highlight reels? Yeah, I would say we're almost there. 18, yeah, I'd say we're almost there. It's I've been reading up as much as I can on Lavia because I'd only seen tiny bits of him last season, but everything I read says a couple of things: that he's supremely confident in his ability, that he is almost press resistant, and that he is very, very, very good at just finding that little bit of space. So certainly a lot of high praise. Right, so the Anfield Talk have put out a tweet that said, LFC lead Chelsea for Lavia. The player presented by LFC convinced the Belgian and his entourage. European football also key. Human aspects and the sports project are fundamental with Lavia's family, who are very conscious and reasonable people. So like I said to you, Lavia will be a Liverpool player. It's just a matter of getting the final details sorted out. You see? Finally, maybe you'll believe me now. Yeah, I agree with everything written there. Certainly backs up the information that I have to hand. If Chelsea get Lavia, who'll be the alternative? Well, they won't, so it's a moot point, Benjamin. And I'm not trying to be dismissive saying that, Benjamin. We're getting Lavia, so you don't need to stress. As was pointed out by Sasha Tavalieri and Anfield Talk and myself and others, he's already given the nod to Liverpool. He likes the project. He likes we're in Europe, which Chelsea aren't. Let's not forget that. So Chelsea, I think, are just reminding Brighton that they have options. And that they're going to try and say that they won't be held to ransom for Caicedo. So let's wait and see. I mean, if I'm Brighton, all I'm going to keep saying to Chelsea over and over and over again is, you paid 106 million for Enzo Fernandez, who was 10 million before. So if you want Caicedo, well, guess what the number is going to be? You're going to have to match that. So let's wait and see what happens there.